probably in the fall, she started to get kind of thin. And she got really pale. A little more pale than she'd been, but again, it wasn't anything that we worried about. She continued to get more and more tired, and she would have to go to bed. She would fall asleep sitting up, which I thought was crazy. But again, I guess this is what we're doing now that we have a teenage child.
I thought there might be something wrong because I'm like, everyone always is not as tired as I am. So I was kind of like thinking about that. No one drank as much water as I did. But I just thought that it was probably it'd go away eventually. Maybe I just had a little bug or something. It was just kind of miserable.
That's where you look like that almost all the time.
Yeah, look at
How
that.
her collarbone pokes out. When she started her unit in her science class, she did say a couple times, "Oh, I'm learning about diabetes," and it's kind of funny because I just feel like I have some of these symptoms, and I thought, well, sure, the power of suggestion. If you learned about leprosy, you'd probably think you had that, and so I didn't really. I feel bad, but I didn't really take it seriously.
I learned at school, and I just applied it to my life because we did like the work packet stuff, and I think we did something online, like an activity, and it was like listing the symptoms and stuff like that. And I had, I think, all of them.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Elaine, can you catch them?
Yeah, I got them right here.
After us ignoring a lot, and she was ignoring it too. It was that trip that we took to Deer Park. On the way back, she just says, "Mom, I really think I have diabetes." So I called the next door neighbor whose daughter has type 1 diabetes and asked her if we could use their tester kit for a minute, and just to settle our minds that she didn't have diabetes. Let's prove to her she's good. She told me later, the minute she opened the door, she knew. It will ring in my head forever. That little monitor beeped, and she just broke into tears. Her exact words were, "Are you ready for this? You have a diabetic child and you need to take her to the emergency room right now, but pack a bag because you're going to be there for a week."
It kind of confirmed my suspicions, but it's also kind of still surprising because, like, this is going to be forever,
She's a very strong person. She's a survivor. She's tough. Even when she was a little girl, she's just tough. We were walking back together, and she just started to cry. And she said, "I don't want diabetes, Mom. I don't want diabetes." And I said, "Well, I don't want you to have diabetes either." But to see how it affected her emotions and how young she suddenly was and how fragile she was. And we stopped in the middle of the road and just hugged and held each other and cried for a while. We didn't want to come back to this chaos for a minute because then we knew that we needed to go. So but we cried for a good while. We needed to just grieve for a minute, come to terms with that she needed to go to the doctor. She needed to get diagnosed for real. I would love to take it. I'll take diabetes any minute if it means that you don't have to have it. And then, of course, that's not an option for a parent. And my husband, that was the hardest thing for him, was not being able to. Because a dad, you want to make your little girl feel better, and you want her to be healthy and to be perfect. And that was hard for me to watch him. He's a tough guy, he doesn't get emotional, and to see him break down. It was a hard walk back. It was a really hard walk. She was excited about the diagnostic challenge. So earlier in the year, she had mentioned a few times that we're going to learn and we're going to diagnose, and she was really eager, which is amazing to me that they would be able to build up excitement for a unit coming up. For middle school, it's amazing. I know college kids that wouldn't have picked up on something like this. And again, she's a great kid, but it's great teaching that does that draws that out and allows the students to feel like the information is real, it's applicable, to be validated in maybe the thought processes that they're going through as they learn. It changes lives. I mean, it changed our life. I'm sure it's going to change a lot of others.
So minute and a half, I'll read, minute and a half to decide, and then we'll move on to the next patient, okay?
Students take the basic components of the systems of the human body, and then they have to apply that knowledge as specialists in their field, in medical teams, and they research different diseases. And then at the very end, their team pulls their knowledge together and they try to diagnose patients from around the world based upon their symptoms and treat them. The really cool thing is then they take that and they can actually apply it to themselves, their own lifestyle choices, and their own health.
I don't think it's any of mine actually, unless it's a heart attack. No, he's gaining weight.
Number 4 is pulmonary hypertension.
Okay,
put it down.
It's made me a lot more confident about like who I am. I feel like I know who I am now.
What she learned in school saved her life. She might have survived, but her doctor did say, had we not caught it that day, he said, I would not be at all surprised if in a day or two she would have been in diabetic coma. We were oblivious. We wouldn't have caught it. What if she had done it in her sleep and she wouldn't have woken up the next day? I don't think it is an exaggeration in any way to say that her school saved her life. Her science class, that unit, saved her life. She's alive because of it.